As we've said a lot of times, the world of the past is a pretty incredible place to explore. It holds extraordinary discoveries, both monumental and minor, and revelations that seriously challenge our understanding of history. In this video, we're traveling through time and across civilizations to bring you ancient finds that truly reshape how we see those who walked on Earth before us. Number Quince. In Isur. It's easy to believe that entire cities don't just disappear, but that's exactly what happened in Israel back in 2019. Archaeologists came across a huge 5,000-year-old urban site they've called a Canaanite megacity, though the term metropolis may be more fitting. Located in Isur, it featured broad roads, fortification walls, and a central temple complex. Based on the size of the foundations, it could have supported up to 6,000 inhabitants, which makes it the largest known city of its era in the region. Now, what's even more surprising is that beneath this already ancient site, researchers found remnants of an even older settlement, which they say is around 2,000 years old. With its size and infrastructure, experts now believe Isur served as a dominant urban center for millennia. Some have even called it a Bronze Age New York. As excavation continues, new details are still being unearthed, layer by layer. What started as a routine dig has turned into one of the most significant archaeological discoveries in recent world history. Number 14. Head-shaped vessel in Bulgarian grave. We all know someone who takes sports way too seriously, so much so that it becomes their whole identity. Apparently, that kind of obsession isn't new. A burial site found in Buan, Novo, Bulgaria back in September 2019 suggests the same thing existed 2,000 years ago. The grave contained skeletal remains and a vessel shaped like a man's head, believed to represent either a boxer or wrestler. Archaeologists believe the site was part of an acropolis used by the elite class of Thracian society. Spartacus, the legendary gladiator who defied Rome, was also Thracian. This brass-crafted head likely served as a container for liquid, perhaps perfume or balm. The assumption that it depicts a fighter stems from its broken nose, a common injury in contact sports. Oddly, experts don't think it represents the deceased, but they haven't explained why. Still, this find offers a curious insight into personal identity and honor in Thracian culture, where even in death, one's connection to combat and glory might have taken center stage. Number 13. Jerusalem Aqueduct. Within Jerusalem's Givat Hamatis neighborhood, archaeologists unearthed a 300-meter stretch, roughly 984 feet of an ancient aqueduct dating back to the late Second Temple era. This is far from just another footnote in engineering history. It's the longest segment of Jerusalem's upper-level aqueduct ever uncovered. Built sometime between 37 BCE and 70 CE, this structure once transported water from springs near Bethlehem to the heart of Jerusalem. The Israel Antiquities Authority has emphasized the find's importance, and rightly so. This wasn't some common water system. It served the Roman elite. Even after the Second Temple was destroyed, the aqueduct continued to operate. Some historians believe it even complicated Roman strategies as they aimed to protect it during the siege. In a curious twist, 25 ancient coins were found pressed into the plaster, perhaps placed for good luck. This find isn't just about stone and water flow, it's a glimpse into Roman priorities, resource management, and elite infrastructure during a period marked by both religious devotion and violent virtuousness. Number 12. The oldest Roman forum in Hispania. Well, now this is just amazing. In the Spanish town of Albergo de Ebro, archaeologists have revealed an ancient Roman forum dating back over 2,000 years. Overseen by the Institute of Heritage and Humanities at the University of Zaragoza, the excavation unearthed this central square, possibly the oldest civic forum ever found in inland Spain. The settlement, potentially named Castra Aelia, likely began as a Roman military base and gradually developed into a bustling town with a prominent forum. Its rise was swift, but so was its downfall. Archaeological clues point to its destruction during the Sertorian Wars in the early 1st century BCE. Built along the Ebro River, the town became a vital hub for trade and transport. The forum was designed as a spacious colonnaded plaza lined with commercial rooms and public offices. This find is significant not just for its construction, but for its role in spreading Roman urban planning deep into Hispania's interior. It's a rare look into a city that rose fast and fell just as quickly. Number 11. Dingwall Stone. Our understanding of the Pictish people of ancient Scotland is still incredibly limited, but one thing we do know is that they were committed to crafting stone cross slabs. At least 50 such stones are known, likely used as territorial markers. Among them, the Dingwall stone stands out as the most intact and most captivating. Believed to be around 1,200 years old, archaeologists have two main theories about its original purpose. One theory sees it as a landmark, a guidepost to help the Picts navigate home after hunting. The other theory is more ominous, a warning to outsiders that they were nearing Pictish land and danger awaited trespassers. The second explanation seems more likely, given that the stone features swords, shields, and humanoid figures with animal heads. If you came across it in the woods, you probably wouldn't feel welcome. The reverse side reportedly has a crescent and rod motif, but archaeologists have oddly held back from sharing any images of that portion. What they're hiding is anyone's guess. Number DC. Ancient Gallo-Roman Villa in France. Back in the good old days of 2016, archaeologists digging near Langres-les-Serrans in Brittany, France, uncovered the remnants of a grand Gallo-Roman villa. It was built in a U-shaped layout, and the villa's structures encircle a courtyard bordered by colonnaded walkways. That courtyard alone spans more than 16,000 square feet. Dating to the 1st century CE, the site appears to have been chosen for its panoramic view of the Rance River. Evidence suggests the estate was renovated and expanded multiple times before falling into disuse sometime in the 4th century. One of the most impressive features still standing is the elaborate bathing complex, spanning 4,300 square feet, with separate chambers for cold and warm baths, a caldarium, foot bath, sauna, and even a hot plunge pool. While no written materials or direct personal identifiers have been recovered, researchers believe the villa belonged to a noble family of the Curiasalita tribe. Whoever they were, they lived in considerable luxury. But beyond the architectural beauty, the mystery remains: who lived here, and why was it eventually abandoned? Only God knows. Number 9. Assyrian seal unearthed in Turkey. Size doesn't always dictate importance. Sometimes the smallest finds reveal the most. That's the case with this intricately carved stone seal from the Assyrian Empire, estimated to be around 3,000 years old. Unearthed near Zervizan Castle in Diyarbakir, Turkey, in October 2019, it features a humanoid figure thought to be an Assyrian deity, along with a bird, the Tree of Life, and a sacred water jar. Seals like this were symbols of authority, used to validate communications or mark ownership. Its discovery so close to the castle raises fresh questions about the site's actual age. While researchers have proven the current structure is about 1,700 years old, some have long suspected much older roots. This artifact may support the theory that the area housed an Assyrian settlement over 1,000 years earlier. Even though it's a modest piece, the seal could shift how we date and interpret this historic stronghold, suggesting layers of forgotten history beneath what we currently see standing. Number 8. UK's Tutankhamun tomb. Let's look at a find often dubbed Britain's answer to Tutankhamun's tomb. Found in Prittlewell, Essex, back in 2003, the site was unearthed accidentally during roadwork and is now thought to be the resting place of a 6th century Anglo-Saxon prince. All that remained of the person buried there were a few fragments of tooth enamel, but the grave goods were extraordinary. The site included gold coins, glass beads, an Anglo-Saxon lyre, and a painted wooden box, the only known surviving piece of painted Anglo-Saxon woodwork in Britain. Most surprising of all was a Syrian flagon, likely brought to Britain during Roman occupation. The richness and rarity of the artifacts led experts to identify the individual as Ceixa, the brother of King Sabarit of Essex, though evidence is not entirely conclusive. This tomb remains the oldest known example of a Christian Anglo-Saxon royal burial ever found, offering unmatched insight into the early fusion of native traditions with Christian influence during a pivotal moment in British history. Number 7. Bronze Age Mace Head. Polish archaeologists are still puzzled by the Bronze Age mace head unearthed in Długi in mid-2019. Discovered during a dig originally intended to locate World War II-era artifacts, the object turned out to be far older and arguably far more intriguing. If the mace head is confirmed to be foreign, it could become the oldest non-native artifact ever found in Poland. That confirmation may not reveal who created it, but it's a crucial starting point. No other Bronze Age items were recovered nearby, making its presence especially unusual. The artifact is estimated to be around 3,000 years old and bears a resemblance, though not an exact match, to mace heads known from the ancient Middle East. Originally, it would have been mounted on a wooden shaft and possibly served more as a symbol of power than a weapon. It likely arrived in Poland via the Carpathian Mountains, but tracing its precise route or origin has so far proved impossible. Wherever it came from, it doesn't belong to any known local tradition. Number 6. Roman chariot burial in Croatia. The Roman Empire's footprint extended across vast regions of Europe, leaving traces in every territory it touched. One such trace surfaced recently in Croatia, where archaeologists uncovered a complete Roman chariot, still attached to the skeletal remains of the horses that once pulled it. The discovery, found near the city of Vinkovci, was located at the base of a large, untouched burial chamber. Chariot burials like this were usually reserved for wealthy Roman families in the 3rd century CE. Based on previous finds in the area, experts believe the tomb belonged to a regional leader, likely someone influential in the political or social framework of the Roman province of Pannonia. Though chariots were originally built for war, by this time they were primarily used in ceremonial events or public games. Oddly enough, both the horses and the chariot were found in upright positions, suggesting the possibility that the horses were buried alive, a disturbing but not unheard of practice for elite funerals in the ancient world. Number 6. Kokino Observatory. The Kokino Observatory stands as an ancient astronomical site with amazing precision. Despite being nearly 3,800 years old, dating back to the Bronze Age, this site includes stone markers that can still track the sun and moon as they move across the sky. From these alignments, early civilizations would have been able to build a functional lunar calendar. When the site was discovered in 2001, archaeologists initially mistook it for the ruins of an early settlement, but after studying the placement of stone groupings and following their alignments up the mountain slope, it became clear this wasn't a village, but a massive open-air observatory. At its core are 2 raised platforms, each 62 feet high, offering panoramic views of the surrounding terrain and stone alignments. 4 carved stone thrones sit nearby, leading many to believe that leaders or rulers would gather to watch astronomical readings being taken. In this society, the stargazers likely held the same status as priests, respected, revered, and crucial to decision-making. Number 4. Antioch Mosaic in Turkey. In 2019, the largest intact mosaic ever discovered was finally unveiled in Antakya, Turkey. The event was so significant that the entire Antakya Museum Hotel was constructed around it. This massive 1,300-year-old floor mosaic spans over 9,000 square feet and was initially discovered by archaeologists in 2010. Researchers believe it once covered the floor of a grand public building in the ancient city of Antioch. Though the structure suffered considerable damage during earthquakes in 526 and 528 CE, the mosaic itself survived almost entirely unbroken. Antakya has long been a hotspot for Roman-era mosaic finds, both in scale and detail, but none compares to the sheer scale of this masterpiece. The mosaic and its surrounding hotel aren't far from the Church of St. Peter, a Crusader-era church built around a cave, believed to be the world's oldest Christian place of worship. Combined, these sites make Antakya one of the most archaeologically rich areas in the world, where ancient beauty and sacred legacy still lie underfoot. Number 3. Roman Mausoleum in France. Back in 2023, French archaeologists found what may be the remains of a Roman mausoleum in Narbonne, France. The excavation, led by the National Institute for Preventive Archaeological Research, revealed a cluster of Gallo-Roman buildings, two of them with partly preserved floor plans. Others featured tiled walls set with lime mortar, a water pipe system, and a large pit. Nearby, fragments of elaborate architecture were found: a cornice block, a decorative column with carved foliage, and a conical spire etched with scale-like patterns. But the most astonishing find was a set of 21 sandstone blocks with high-relief carvings, an unusual discovery for Narbonne. One relief portrays Triton, the sea god, accompanied by a horse or seahorse. The ornate style and motifs suggest the structure was built between the 1st and 2nd centuries CE. This wasn't just a burial, it was a grand statement, a funerary monument crafted to be remembered. And now, after centuries underground, it's finally speaking again through stone. Number 2. Ancient cannabis use in China. Cannabis use sparks debate today, but our connection to the plant is much older than most assume. Evidence found in 2019 within tombs high in China's Pamir Mountains shows that humans have been smoking weed for nearly 3,000 years. Traces of cannabis were discovered on incense burners placed inside elite burial chambers, confirming that ancient populations weren't just growing the plant for fiber or seeds, they were actively using it for its psychoactive effects. Residue analysis revealed extremely high levels of THC, meaning the cannabis was likely cultivated or chosen specifically for potency. This isn't simply medicinal use, it appears to have been a deliberate act to alter consciousness, possibly for spiritual or ceremonial purposes. Shamans may have used the plant to induce visions or connect with the divine. So far, these cannabis residues have only been located in the tombs of high-status individuals, suggesting that while getting high wasn't illegal back then, it was a luxury reserved for the ancient elite. Number 1. Carnarvon Tablet. The ancient Carnarvon Tablet, inscribed in hieratic script, recounts Kamos's military victory over the Hyksos in ancient Egypt. It gets its name from its 1908 find by British archaeologist Lord Carnarvon. The two wooden boards, coated with plaster and stucco, were found buried in broken pottery near a tomb in Deir el-Bahari. Initially believed to belong to Egypt's 17th dynasty, the site is now more accurately dated to the 18th. One side of the tablet narrates Kamos's triumph over the Hyksos, while the other contains the opening lines of the maxims of Ptahhotep. A second board bears a damaged inscription. What was once thought to be a student's writing exercise turned out to be a copy of Kamos's stela from Karnak. British scholar Sir Alan Gardiner was the first to propose this theory, later confirmed by French Egyptologists Lecoux and Chevrier, who matched fragments of the original stela in Karnak. Why this royal proclamation was replicated like graffiti remains a historical question with no clear answer. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you very soon.